And he's the NBA all-time leader in playoff threes.
Another day and another moment in history for the Golden State Warriors. Welcome to Game Time Live, presented by State Farm. Chris Miles here with Jason Terry, Caron Butler, and Lloyd Pierce. And a special welcome to Lloyd Pierce, head coach of the Atlanta Hawks. Great to have you.
Appreciate having me.
All right, we got to go down your resume, though. For those that don't know, this is your first year as a head coach of the NBA, but you spent some time with the Cavs, Warriors, your last 5 seasons. Before that, the Philadelphia 76ers as an assistant. What a great year that you had there for the Hawks. Really, guys, look good down the stretch. Great to have you.
Thank you.
All right, so we see the Golden State Warriors take care of business in this first game. Caron, what stood out to you the most as they handled game 1, 121 to 104?
I think just the disposition that they came out with in the sense of urgency. You know, really trying to come out and make a statement in this game in particular. I thought Steph Curry was just absolutely amazing on both ends of the floor. You know, having a block, rebounding the basketball, 15 rebounds, a career high. I thought it was amazing just to see that. So when you play at that level and you continue to trend in that direction, they're going to be a tough out for anybody, and they look like they're on pace to get that three-peat.
Jason, it's easy to look at what Steph Curry did and go, okay, wow, that stands out in the box score. But you noticed something in the first quarter that really set the tone for the Warriors.
Well, I thought it was Draymond Green. If we've watched Draymond struggle this year from the field, his willingness to take what the defense is giving him, set them up to have success, especially when he's making shots. I mean, he was 5 for 5 in the first quarter, 13 points. Draymond's impact was felt early and often, and he set the tone. We know he's the spiritual, emotional leader for the Warriors, but Draymond was just active, infectious in all facets of his offensive game. As you see him get the roll to the basket there. Here, a tough finish and one. Flex on him. Let him know. I mean, his impact is great, and the guys feed off of it. Guys like Steph and Clay. You know, Steph does his thing after he hits big threes, but for the most part, they're not as demonstrative as Draymond. And when he gets demonstrative and he flexes and he shows his emotions in a positive light, it affects everyone.
We're waiting to hear from the Clippers and the Warriors. As soon as they hit the podium, we will bring you that sound. Okay, so you were with Golden State when they first started building this particular team that is now a dynasty. What have you seen in their growth, especially seeing where they are now?
Well, I think anytime you look at the Warriors, you just talk about the excitement of how they play. It started with Steph Curry. I was out right as Klay Thompson was coming in. And that's where the start of the Splash Brothers began. But I think what Jet just said is Draymond brings another element. He brings an emotional leadership. He brings a defensive mindset and disposition to their team. I think one of the big keys tonight is you see DeMarcus Cousins get his first playoff game. And although he fouled out 9 points, 9 rebounds, he's a guy that's going to get his experience as they go along. And you just add another dimension, another offensive leader to that team. And as the playoffs rolls, he's going to have a bigger impact.
Well, you say offensive leader, but I think the key term in there that you mentioned a couple of times, defensively, looking at the Golden State Warriors. After the All-Star break, they were 7th in the league in defensive rating. Last year, we saw them kind of coast during the regular season on defense, just sitting at 10th or 11th in that category. Then they get to the playoffs, and they were absolute monsters, first in defensive rating. Do you see them flipping that switch now, Caron? Because that's what it seems like is happening.
That's exactly what's happening. And it's a certain group of guys, and you have to be very familiar with one another to be able to do that. And you look, they're tired of the regular season and the course of the formality of the season. And every game, everybody's getting up for them and playing their best, getting their best shot and their best hit. But this is their time, and they're prepared for this new season, which is the playoffs. And like you said, Coach, you look at Draymond Green, he's making shots, he's ready for this moment. And, Doc Rivers like, I'm going to continue to give you those opportunities. And, Steph Curry, he's making shots. Kevin Durant, he's playing both ends of the floor. So if it's any team in the association that can do it with a flip of a switch, it's the Golden State Warriors.
And one of those guys that really, if you look at the box score, it's like, okay, Kevin Durant, 23, 4, and 3, kind of a quiet night for him. But if you watch the game, that's not the case. I mean, he seemed to be bringing a lot of energy and a lot of bravado.
I think the team as a whole showed that energy. And if you look at historically, since the Splash Dynasty has come upon us, they're 15-1 since 2014 in opening games in the playoffs. So their success It's because of the Oracle Arena. Obviously, playing in that arena, these guys go on runs that are just unstoppable. In the second quarter, the Clippers took the lead with 5 minutes left. But about 2 minutes later, they were down double digits. And that's all because of the impact, the energy in that arena, the ability to make shots from the three-point range efficiently. And they put so much pressure on your offense. People think it's your defense. It's your offense. When they hit 2 or 3 threes in a row, it puts a lot of pressure on you to come back on the other end and score. And as you know, there is no 9-point play. There is no 10-point play.
Not in this league.
Not in this league. And so it's a lot of pressure that they're putting on you on the offensive end.
Karan, late in the game, we saw Kevin Durant make another really good offensive play, get out on the break, and Patrick Beverley, try to block shot. It got a bit physical between those two guys. Look, we know the history of Beverley and Russell Westbrook, the injury that really changed the course a little bit for OKC. What'd you see on this play between these two? I mean, it was throughout the game, Patrick Beverley giving up a foot, but trying to bring that energy defensively for the Clippers.
Look, I see somebody trying to give their best, their body and their soul to a series and try to disturb the momentum of the Golden State Warriors. But you know what? No matter what, it's not going to happen. And look, whatever it is, it's going to happen. But I love the heart of Beverly. Look, he's a competitor, and you have to appreciate that. I know, Coach, I'm pretty sure that you'll love to coach a guy like that and have someone on your team, and you got a ton of guys on your team like that competes at a high level night in and night out on a consistent basis, and that's what you want. That's why you in that space, because the competitors come out and play at a high level.
I think the biggest impact for someone like Patrick Beverley, someone like Draymond Green, he's the guy you hate when you have to coach against.
Oh, man.
But when he's in your locker room, he's the guy that you appreciate. He brings you that defensive disposition. He brings you that emotion. He brings you that heart, that soul every night. And in the playoff series, as these guys are filling each other out, it's important for someone to step up to the forefront on the defensive end. We know guys are going to make plays and score. Who's going to be the emotional leader? Who's going to be the defensive leader?
Well, we see the statement that the Warriors made in Game 1. On the other side of that, for Doc Rivers, who should be in the running for Coach of the Year, I think we all agree with that. Okay, what should his approach be? What do you imagine it would be in this situation after suffering the loss?
I think Jet touched on it. You see the Clippers go up in the second quarter, and then with 2 minutes to go, the Warriors they turn it up, and it goes to a double-digit lead, and they do the same thing in the third quarter. I thought the Clippers brought it to about 6 in the third. Next thing you know, it's a 19-point deficit heading into the fourth. You have to withstand Golden State's runs. And the only way you do that is you don't turn the basketball over. You don't take ill-advised shots. You get back in transition, and you make them play half-court offense. It's going to be a tough night, however you put it, but you have to put yourself in the best position. And by doing so, you have to take care of your offensive opportunities.
Offensive opportunities made by Steph Curry, 386 playoff three-pointers now, passing Ray Allen and doing it in almost half the games. How impressive. I mean, we could do this every show with Steph Curry, but to see him have a playoff record like that, and you see that 91 games, I think, is the key for Steph. JT, let's start with you on this.
91 games. To me, it speaks to the efficiency in what he does it in, and then just the sustained excellence, the sustained greatness.
You guys finished
it's just
the
unbelievable.
first, second,
Here's Steve Kerr at the podium.
You guys had runs at the end of each quarter to kind of reestablish control of the game or push a lead out.
Yeah, it's important to close quarters strong and keep the momentum going. So I was pleased with that. I think all in all, we played really hard, which was great. We didn't play that well or that smart. This is a way, we've got to think about is, are we going to let down because we won a game? No, we got to keep playing hard, and we got to play smarter than we did tonight. So good start, but a long way to go.
Steve, Mark Medina, Bay Area News Group. What did you see from Draymond in the first quarter on both ends of the floor that you think helped set the tone for everything?
Well, I mean, he was so competitive and emotional, and that's why he made brilliant plays, and he made some not so brilliant plays. I think he had 4 turnovers in the first half. He's throwing the ball all over the place, but he was playing so hard, and that's what makes Draymond who he is. So we're always willing to live with some mistakes because the positives far outweigh the negatives with Draymond, as we know. But we got to come in game 2, whenever that is, take care of the ball. I mean, we had 22 turnovers, I think, 21 turnovers, many of them just mind-numbing. And so we've got to clean that up, and we'll be in better shape.
Coach Kerr, Tony Harvey, Sacramento Observer. Warriors pulled down 53 rebounds. You have 4 players, 7 more rebounds. Curry pulled down 15 himself. Can you talk a little bit about that and what contributed to him getting those high volume up?
Steph's a tremendous rebounder. He's just got a knack for being in the right place at the right time. He's quick to the ball, great hands. So he's one of the better rebounding guards in the league. So that's a pretty high number, though. But I think, we forced a lot of tough shots from them. Our defense was good, and as a result, there were a lot of rebounds to be had.
Steve, Jason Dumas, Crown 4 Sport. You kind of mentioned the turnovers in your last answer a couple answers ago. 21, how important is it to, obviously it looks like you guys played hard and effort was there and all that, but like you said, some of those turnovers, mind-numbing. How important is it to cut those turnovers out and just kind of ingrain it in your team to protect the ball?
Well, we talk to our team all the time about, if we win the possession game, if we get more shot attempts, more possessions than our opponent, we're awfully tough to beat. And, sometimes our guys are so passionate and competitive, and they want to go, but they, start passing out of motion and getting away from themselves, almost like a quarterback running from pressure and throwing it, short down or long down the middle. It's like center fielders are out there waiting to pick those off. That's great. That was a baseball and a football metaphor in one answer. So now, we just got to keep going.
Steve, Tim Kawakami, The Athletic. Obviously you want to play with emotion, but do you think Kevin kind of took the bait a little bit with Beverly tonight?
Obviously, for sure. Yeah, we took the bait. He took the bait, and that's 2 technicals. You get 7 technicals. Your 7th one is a suspension in the playoffs. Whether you play 4 playoff games or 24, 7 is the magic number. So he's got 4 to play with after 1 game. But that's what Beverly does. We talked about it the last couple of days. He's a hell of a defender. He plays hard. You got a lot of respect for him. But you cannot take the bait because, that's a bad trade for us. Clippers have made a lot of good trades this year, and that was maybe their best.
Steve, Nick Friedel, ESPN, just following up on that. What do you do to prepare Kevin and the other guys moving forward for the stuff Beverly does to get in their heads?
Well, I don't think we even need to say anything now. It was we already talked about it for 2 days. It's one of our keys. Don't take the bait, and we took it. So you just can't do it. But sometimes you have to feel it before you can follow through and execute on that. So we're going to have to be really solid.
Just go examiner. Maybe you were asked this earlier if we're outside. Putting in the Hamptons 5 death lineup, whatever you want to call it, 6.5 minutes into the second quarter, what was your thought process behind that, and what did you get from that?
It's our best lineup. Somebody told me today it's the best 5-man lineup in the league from a numbers standpoint. That's our best lineup. So in the playoffs, we'll play that lineup more often than we would in the regular season. So we're gonna go to it a little earlier, and it's not exactly rocket science.
Hey, Steve, slightly to your right, Phil Barber, Santa Rosa Press, Democrat. Is Steph Curry playing as well right now as you've ever seen him play? And do you have any reflections on the new career postseason 3-point leader for the NBA?
Yeah, Raymond told me that on the walk over. That's remarkable given that he's kind of, right in his prime. He's got a lot of years left. But Steph's played in a lot of playoff games, and he's come through so often. And I get asked that a lot. Is this the best he's playing? It seems like every year that's the question. Is this the best he's playing? Is this the best he's playing? He's been playing his best for about 5 years, as far as I can see.
Coach, DeMarcus got his playoff feet wet tonight. I'm sure he didn't put up the type of game that he expected, but what did you think of his performance, and what do you say to him after a game like this heading into next game?
I don't need to say anything to DeMarcus. It was a frustrating night for him, fouling out, a couple tough calls. But it was important for him to get his feet wet and feel the playoffs, feel the energy. And I have no doubt he'll come back and play a lot better in Game 2. Thanks a lot.
Golden State Warriors, LA Clippers, game 1, and it's the first career playoff game for DeMarcus Cousins, Coach. They got Boogie involved early.
Yeah, I think, with him, he's another 5-man in the league, and there are very few of them that can step out and hit the three. Obviously, he's a great scorer down low, but that's key for them moving forward.
Jet, I get a 3, you get a 3, we all get a 3. It's like they're giving out for free.
Listen, opportunistic defense turns into beneficiary offense, and Steph Curry was the beneficiary there on some great defense by Andre Iguodala.
Karan, what we're seeing is sharing is caring. 13 assists on their first 14 made buckets. Then Lou Will, with his team down by 10, bringing his team back.
And whenever you put the ball in his hand and he's able to dance around, introduce guys to hip hop on the perimeter, get the going downhill, he's just an unstoppable force.
Speaking of an unstoppable force, Steph Curry proving that he is still at 20 points in the first half and 6 assists. Warriors ahead by 1. Doc Rivers, not a happy coach. Not at all.
I got shipped by that move, and I'm in the studio. Peace.
In the third quarter, Warriors step it up a notch. And look at the effort. Steph Curry, 15 rebounds. That's a new career high.
There's no scouting report for that. That's just heart and hustle and the ability to hit you from long range.
And there's Durant going inside and Curry going for another offensive rebound. They didn't need that one. Then Curry, there is another board, and I see a theme here, fellas. And then what?
On 5.
Anytime you have your guards getting the defensive rebound, they can run their own break. And obviously with Steph Curry, a deep 3 is open anytime he has the basketball.
What an incredible performance from Steph Curry. Warriors ahead by 13. Again, you see the theme, grabbing rebounds, then working on the other end. Steph Curry, history in the making. 386 career playoff three-pointers. That is your new all-time record in NBA history.
It's amazing to see how open he was this entire game. Like they were struggling to find out what the cross match was.
Well, no cross match for Kevin Durant.
Well, anytime Kevin has the basketball, he's a threat to score. But if he can get it by his defender, downhill is easy for him.
And then things get a bit testy. There was a lot of this during the game. But this is the peak of the Pat Beverly, Kevin Durant. Look, Steve Kerr said that Durant fed into that a little bit. But that's what Patrick Beverly wants. That's not exactly what the Warriors need.
Everybody knows Beverly is an irritant if you allow him to be. But he has to play with that type of edge for the Clippers to have any chance.
What is it?
Irritant.
Welcome to the playoffs.
That has to be the correct word for Patrick Beverly. All those antics did not work, though. The Golden State Warriors, cooler heads prevail, or the extreme talent that they have. They get the win 121-104, and they lead the series 1-0. They've actually won 17 of their last 19 first-round games. Doc Rivers, here he is at the podium right now.
Andrew Greif, LA Times. Doc, the end of the first half, you guys were tied at 51, only 3 minutes left. By halftime, it's a 13-point lead, and a couple technicals were called. What can you make of that final 3 minutes?
I thought they spurted on us. Can't happen. I did think we got some tough calls down that stretch. It was funny. I wasn't even upset at the missed calls. I was really upset at Gal's tech. It really bothered me because all Gal said was, "Where was the foul?" And without me saying any names, if one of our guys are going to get attacked for saying that, after what I witnessed in the first half, from at least, let me just say 2 of their guys, that was disgusting. Like that's what got me so upset. Gal, who rarely gets attacked, didn't swear, didn't say anything. And to get attacked in a playoff game for saying what foul, after I saw a couple guys on the other team cussing, swearing, pointing, yelling, and nothing, it's just not right. Like, we have to be consistent. My tech, by the way, and you can read my lips, I said, all I want is consistency. That was what I got a tech for at halftime. Like, listen, they outplayed us. They deserved to win. We made too many mistakes. We can't lose our composure where we're giving up a free throw rebound because we forget to block out because we're complaining. So all that's on us. That's on the coaching staff. It's on our players. But we got to have a fighting chance here too. And like, it's just got to be consistency. And I've said this before, like, it's an emotional game, but just like players can lose their emotions and their composure, coaches do it all the time, officials can't. And I just thought the end of that half, that swing was huge. I thought Curry may have gotten fouled, actually, but I know Lou got fouled too. And that's what started the whole thing. So they would have won regardless. We didn't deserve to win tonight. I thought we wanted to win. I thought we came to play. I thought we played hard. We have to play a little smarter. We made too many mistakes.
Okay, Coach Rivers and Tony Harvey, Sacramento Observer. Shamet and Beverly, total 6 points.
Yeah.
What would you like to see more of them in games?
Well, whenever Shem doesn't get shots, to me, I always think that's on me. I just thought, we're a movement team. I didn't think we executed very well offensively. It's funny. I'm just looking at the numbers, and they had 121 points, which obviously you're not going to win a lot of games with that. But we were not a very good offensive team today. We didn't take it. I don't know how many 3 and 4, 4 and 5s. I mean, just how many breaks we had that we just came up empty on. And so I want to watch the film and see why.
Doc, Joe Morgan, Sporting News. Can you just talk a little bit about Shea and what you saw from him in his first kind of postseason minutes?
I thought he was up and down. I thought he was aggressive overall offensively. He'll be better in game 2. I can almost guarantee you that. I know Shea. I don't think he's happy with the way he played. I just want him to stay aggressive.
Doc, Miriam Swanson, Southern California News Group. Trez and Lou, though, kept you guys afloat.
Yeah, they did. They were great. I thought, actually, the second unit in that first half, our second unit outplayed theirs. And that was a big spurt for us. That's what we've done all year, though. We just couldn't sustain it.
Of the 3 young guys, Sham, Shea, Zoo, and in that first quarter, you kind of went at Zoo really hard, and then you gave him the pat on the back. So what was that all about, that exchange in those 3 rookies?
Just, no focus, mental execution. I actually thought Zoo, after that, played very well. So I was very happy. That's why I was very happy with him because, he struggled early. He messed up a 2 or 3 in a row, just our rotations defensively. But then after that, he was flawless. And so it tells you that you can be young and have focus. And he did that. So, and I told him after the game, I'm really happy with that. Like, that's what we need him to do. And he earned himself more playing time because that's what you do on our team. You earn it. And I thought he did that. Yeah, Shem, I want to watch the film. We got to get him more shots. And that's on me. That's on our team. Like, we got to value him more. And I didn't think we did a good enough job. So that's on us.
Hey, Doc, Mark Medina, Bay Area News Group. What was your view with the exchanges that Patrick Beverly and Kevin Durant had and, the subsequent ejection?
Yeah, it was talk.
Up 10.
I mean, listen, I don't even know what to say with that one. That was, Pat's going to talk, and that's legal, and Kevin can talk too, I don't think either one of them, I don't know. I think Eddie had to throw him out because it looked bad. So I thought that was the right thing to do, I guess, But it was much to do about nothing.
Grant Cohn, Santa Rosa Press Democrat. Can you explain the thought process behind matching up Beverly on Durant instead of Curry? It must be a tough call.
Yeah, they're both good, and we thought that, Pat could take away Durant's dribble attacks, and he did that, because what the LeBrons of the world do, when you put their same size guy on them, now they have every advantage. They can beat you off the dribble. They still score on the post anyway. And so we do that a lot. We put a smaller guy just to take away the dribble attacks because Durant is so good off the dribble. I thought we were actually very effective there. The problem is now you don't have Pat guarding Curry. And so one thing I learned is they're really good. And, you can't put Pat on everybody. But Curry has destroyed us all year. He really has. And we have to try to do a better job from a coaching perspective. We have to do something different, for sure.
Colin Ward-Henninger, CBSSports.com, kind of building off of that, when Curry starts getting it going and the crowd is cheering the way it does. I mean, you said you've seen it before. What is even a coach's approach to that? I mean, when a guy is making shots from that far, that high?
Well, hopefully you can stop him. He's great. He's a great player. I was telling my coaching staff, I still think Steph Curry is one of the most underrated players in the NBA. I don't even know how that happens, but he is. He's taken for granted. And all I know is when he's on the floor, he is a handful, and he makes them better in so many ways. He was one of the best rebounders today. He just does everything. He's a great player. But we have to do a better job. He has to see us right now, and I don't know what it was. I think coming in the game, he was averaging 33 against us. He's shooting like 50%. I mean, he has to see our jerseys and see red like a bull, and so we have to do a better job, and that's on me. Thanks, guys.